Welcome, everybody. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On podcast. We are talking season report, and we're talking look ahead, possibly to Florida and Tennessee. Yeah, we need to clean some things up. What exactly do we need to clean up? Do we need to clean up anything, or is this Georgia Bulldogs team ready to roll in to the back half of their schedule, ready to rock? This is Locked On Bulldogs. We'll talk about it next.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Clint, Locked On Bulldogs. Daniel's still gone. We're here. We're talking about a couple things today. One, I want to talk to you about look ahead to Florida game. Two, I want to talk to you look ahead to Tennessee game. And three, I want to say look ahead to the rest of the season based on what we've seen so far. And here's just a quick note. Thanks, SweatBlock. Title sponsor. You guys rock. We'll talk more about them here in a moment. But I think here's where I want to start with. If you were to tell me last year that coming off of championship game in which we didn't have the offense that could have carried us, in which we were basically just fools out there looking idiotic, looking stupid, had no business playing on the field at all with these juggernauts, with these other teams. If you were to tell me that we didn't have the offense to compete with these juggernauts, we won the national championship, we got guys coming back, we lose everybody off of defense that was historic, and then I was to tell you we're still averaging single-digit points per game, our offense has, and I want to be specific with this, more firepower, more yards in the air than Tennessee. Tennessee, the consensus, I shouldn't say consensus, the darling of media people everywhere, talking about how great and how glorious they are, how they're going to just steamroll through the national championship game. Hold the brakes on that, because I'm giving us a defense off a historic season that lost everybody less than 10 yards or 10 points per game. I'm giving us an offense that's right now statistically better than Tennessee. And I have a better head coach. Oh, wait. And I have better assistants. Oh, wait. And I have better players. See, the thing with where I guess want to start as we preview all of this is to say this, Georgia fans, we have like Stetson Bennett haters, please see the door. Kirby Smart haters, please see the door. We can critique. We can talk about some things, but hold off denigrating anything this team has done. We're exceptional. And I say exceptional. We are to the point now where we are nitpicking. We are absolutely nitpicking about this team where we shouldn't be at all. So stop it. Now, let's parlay this into Florida. Y'all, we're going to steamroll Florida. Like steamroll them. Here's why. Okay? If you were to see our defense and you were to say, hey, what are some points that we can attack? Where are some places, some weak spots? It's cornerback position right now. I was on the podcast yesterday saying this cornerback position isn't our strong suit. The defensive back, the middle of the field is certainly, but cornerback, in which you need to have great chemistry of receiver as well as quarterback to hit those touch throws. Florida doesn't do that. Florida does gimmicky stuff, quick stuff. They do Auburn-esque, Boise State-esque, Louisiana Tech-esque. Have I hit the Sun Belt yet? Offense. Look, it's not anything to be scared about. Cornerbacks will get torched when you have something that's more comparable on our level. They just don't have that because they don't have the quarterback to do it. They don't have the passing game to do it. Secondly, running game. Etienne's little brother, which, by the way, welcome to the show, in which if you played in the Little League World Series, if you were James Cook, if you were anybody that is preceded by somebody else, so welcome Etienne's little brother. I'm sorry I don't make the rules. I just follow them. Florida offensive line is not up to snuff with our interior defensive linemen. So again, the crux of this defense is straight up the middle, the defensive line, defensive nose and end, as well as inside linebacker, as well as safeties. Offensive line's not moving anybody. ETN's not going to run around. And if he does try to run around, we got two faster linebackers than him running around with him. We're going to smoke Florida. Whatever the points are, give them to me now. This moment. You should as well. Hey, we're going to come back to this. We're going to talk. I might grab bag with Alabama. We might get dirty. I ain't going to lie to you. But first, I want to let you know SweatBlock. SweatBlock. Look, have you been in those situations where you're just really embarrassed by your sweat? Maybe you cheer and, oh no, down below the pit stains are all abound. Or maybe you're with somebody and the excessive back sweat when you sit down in the seat of the truck and you get out of it is just damp. You got to carry a second towel. Well, that's where SweatBlock. It is doctor created, doctor recommended. Ability to block the sweat from making an embarrassing situation from you. Right now, SweatBlock is giving you 20% off with the promo code LOCKEDON. Go to sweatblock.com, promo code LOCKEDON for 20% off your entire order right now. Okay, let's talk. You know what? Let's do that. Let's get dirty. Hey, Alabama, how you doing? Look, here's why this doesn't really move the needle for me. It moves the needle in so much as we have been on this podcast saying the demise of Bama went preseason, talked to a whole bunch of people that said, no, Clint, you don't understand. Bama's still the standard. You're not the standard yet. And I said, no, we're the standard. We're there. And they said, oh, you got to prove it. You got to be there. Look, here's all this does. There's the rest of the season for Alabama. They have their whole season in front of them. Guys, if you think Alabama does not have their whole season, they have their entire season out in front of them. I guarantee you. They win out. They go to the SEC championship game, even in a loss to us in the SEC championship game. Even in that situation, they are still in play for the college football playoff. Now you're going to say, no. Clint. No two-loss team has ever made the college football. You're right. Okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's Alabama. We've seen where they shouldn't have been in before, and they got in. It doesn't matter. I think we're going to have a great chance going undefeated in this season, but Alabama's got everything in front of them. They play Ole Miss, and look, Lane's going to lane. That's always been the thing for me, right? Ole Miss can play if Lane can coach, and Lane has shown some ups and downs and some good things, some bad things. Schupel comes into Tennessee, does a better job than he did his entire tenure over there. That tells me something. I think Ole Miss is a good team. I think they got a defense, but I don't know about that. What this is it just showcases to you and I, it validates more than anything. So Alabama, the Tennessee takes, let them have their fun. Just let them have their fun. Here's what validates for you and I. They ain't the standard anymore, y'all. Nick Saban is slipping. He is old. His coaching staff is slipping. They have been fleeced. His players that he gets portaled in aren't the players he thought. How you doing, Burton? How's that high-flying offensive tackle? Oh, wait. They have switched to a Gibbs 1 foot in the ground zone blocking scheme, get up the field, running attack. Oh, no. What happened? See, he didn't go to a team that he can get more reps at. He went to a team that he could play for because they didn't have enough wide receivers that were as skilled because the team he just came from, us, had all them guys that can play. It's funny. More or less, it's just validation for you and I that our entire narrative is true. That's what this should tell you. Nick Saban is slipping. His team isn't talented. The defense is atrocious. The offense isn't explosive as it was. It's still explosive because Bryce Young still has a cannon of an arm. I get that. I understand. We are those guys. That's what this should validate for you. Okay, now I spent too long on Alabama. Let's move off of them. I'm going to come back in the third segment. We're going to talk about Tennessee a little bit. I'm going to preview that. But first, I want to learn about LinkedIn. LinkedIn, y'all, they're just fantastic. Okay, LinkedIn is a spot that you need to go, and you get to post your job for free. Right now, all of America and everybody else, the pandemic is over, y'all. I heard from trusted sources, the pandemic is gone. It is over. It's no longer here. Trust it. Go with it. Run with it. And LinkedIn is getting you back to work, getting America back to work, getting the world back to work with over 810 million connections and networks all across the world. LinkedIn is the spot for you. Right now, they're giving us a free job posting at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege for your free posting. They're fantastic. Get there right now. All right. Let's talk Tennessee, shall we? Here, let me start by saying you this. Apparently, we're a 10-point favorite. I think last I checked, certain books came out a little earlier, and we're a 10-point favorite. Tennessee. It's going to fluctuate. It's going to change. They're coming to Athens. They're riding a high. We still have to play Florida. We have Kentucky on the schedule. I get all of that. I get all of it. Yo, Tennessee don't scare me. Daniel's going to come back. Daniel's going to tell you Tennessee terrifies him and he doesn't think we can hang. I'm here to tell you Tennessee don't scare me. Here's why. Tennessee is the lesser version of what Bama wanted to be a while ago and actually were. They're the lesser version of it. And what we saw in Alabama in the national championship game and a whole lot of other places is if you pop their quarterback in the mouth, and Hendon Hooker, to his credit, he hung in there. He did some things. Okay. They were at home. They were hyped as hyped could get. I thought Alabama was going to steamroll over them. Turns out they are slipping more than slipping. But their wide receivers are just getting free release for days. Their DBs on Alabama aren't coached well. They're not getting the reps they need. They're not getting the film they need. They're not calling the coverages they need. And everybody is confused and letting wide receivers, their eye discipline is bad. Now, look, many of you say, well, Clint, we have a problem with that. We have a problem with corners, and I get that. We don't have a problem with safeties. Eye discipline on the back end is not the problem. Eye discipline on corners is not the problem. Performance of tackling, wrapping up, jumping on the ball, all of that's a problem for our corners. Eye discipline is not. Coverage is not. Coaching is not. Development is not. I watched that game, and Alabama just had no interest in actually playing defense, and Tennessee ran down their throat. Because, again, here's what's so interesting. Go look at Lane Kiffin with Ole Miss. Go look at Hoople at Tennessee. Go look at all of them. They have a power run game. They want to run the ball because it establishes everything else. Because then when you are tired, you make mistakes. Your eye discipline goes, your hands go, and whoop, there goes a receiver streaking down the sideline for absolute pay dirt. See, I'm not scared about them because you have to be in sync ahead of the chains on rhythm to do speed and get on the ball and then slow down. So get on the ball and then waste the 35 play clock and get it down to 2 and then hike it. I'm not scared because Hendon Hooker is going to make mistakes. I think he's a one read and go kind of quarterback, and he did that very well. I think Hupel is a great offensive mind, but I think we have a better defensive mind on our end. We have 2 better ones, and we have players to boot, and we have a great back end of the secondary. And I think they're going to make a game plan just perfect for Tennessee based upon tendencies, because that's what it is. It's tendencies. When you go, what you're trying to set up is you try to set up these haymakers, and you could see them coming. We could break down film all day long, but the coaches are doing that at Georgia, and they will have a game plan. I guarantee you. I'm not scared of Tennessee at all. Daniel's going to come back. He's going to tell you he is terrified of Tennessee, and I will laugh at him, and I will calm him, and I will ask for 1-800 numbers to help him out and you out. But I will have my bucket with me. I guarantee you that. Hey, we touched on Burton in the second segment, and I made light of him. I'm not going to make light of this. Look, Tennessee stormed the field. Burton swung and hit a person. Players should be safe all the time. And if Tennessee fan, I know you didn't make them safe because you throw things at people for fun. But Burton, man, things are looking bad for you in Alabama. Things are looking bad for Alabama in general. We're going to come back next week. Daniel's going to be here. Hello. We're going to talk everything else that we need to know gearing up for the Florida game. Come back then. This has been Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We'll see you guys then.